Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I am Michelle. So today I am going to be doing number 18 in our countdown for Christmas. This is a recipe that I have not tried before for gingerbread ice cream. To make this recipe, we're going to need the following ingredients. 5 egg yolks, which you'll want to have in a bowl like this, and then light brown sugar, vanilla paste, or if you don't have vanilla bean paste, you can use vanilla extract, cinnamon, ginger, ground cloves. I recommend using whole milk. You could use maybe 2%. I think anything lower than that and it might not be quite the right consistency. Heavy cream, molasses, and then optionally you can put in some chopped up soft gingerbread cookies. And I'm also going to be adding in some sprinkles for fun. Let's get started. So in a medium saucepan here on the stove, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of my brown sugar that's packed, obviously. 1 teaspoon of the vanilla bean paste. I get it to come out of there. Come on out, vanilla bean paste. There we go. Is that right? One teaspoon of cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of ginger. And 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. So it says we're going to whisk this a little bit together to try to kind of combine it. I don't know that that's going to really whisk too much there, but we'll be adding other ingredients in just a second. Now that we have that kind of mostly whisked together, we're going to be adding in, this is 3 cups of heavy cream plus 1 cup of the milk. And then we'll be putting in 3 tablespoons of molasses. It may not be exact, but that's okay. Make some pretty cool lines on there. So now what we're going to do is turn on the heat to medium. And keep kind of stirring this every so much. We want to get that nice and combined. But also you would not want it to scorch on the bottom, so be very careful about your heat level. We're going to keep heating this until it comes to just about like a small simmer, basically. You want it to not be like rolling boil or anything. You just want the simmering to begin. As you can see, it has just started to boil. It's not at a rapid boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat back just a little bit. We'll stir that. And we will be taking just a ladle full of this. And we're going to be streaming it into here. So hang on, this is a little bit of coordination here to do this. So I'm going to stream it slowly into these yolks as I whisk. I'm going to pull that off there because that does not need to be doing that. So just go ahead and pull that off the heat while you do this. Anyway, you want to be streaming that in slowly like that. So it does take a little bit of coordination. Okay, we're going to do one more ladleful. You don't want to dump it all in at once because you risk making your egg yolks cook. Since I'm not left-handed, and I'm sorry about the camera angle there because I cannot possibly do that any differently. I'm going to go ahead and whisk that like that. And then I'm going to pour that back into my mixture over here. And we'll return that to the heat that we're going to go medium-low heat now. And here we're going to need to be stirring or whisking constantly. And what you want to do is your mixture needs to thicken up. It's going to get to the point where basically it'll coat the back of a wooden spoon. So I will show you, it'll take probably just 3 or 4 minutes for this process to happen. Now that it's been going, I had to go close to about 6 minutes for this to happen. But you can see that it gets really thick and just wants to kind of stay coaty on the back of the spoon. But you'll also see that the mixture is making these kind of swirls, and you'll notice how thick the liquid is getting. We're going to go ahead and cut the heat there, and I'm going to be straining this. Get my ladle out the way there. I'm going to be straining this into a dish. Bowl, I should say. It's okay about the strainer being in there because we're going to pull it out in just a moment. Strain out. It's going to catch some of those milk solids that we don't necessarily want to have in there. And this is another way that you'll know that you've gotten it thick enough because your strainer is going to be pretty coated right there. Now you're going to let this rest and just at room temperature, excuse me, until it cools to about room temperature. And after it does, you're going to want to put a piece of plastic wrap over it, but wait until it's fully cool, to room temperature to do this. Put the plastic wrap over it and then put it into the refrigerator for 1 to 2 hours before getting ready to do the next step. One last thing, as it rests here on the counter, stir it every once in a while so that you don't get a film on top. Now I have had this in the fridge for maybe just over an hour. And I already have this. Of course, if you have one of these machines, you'll know that you have to have your bowl frozen and constructed like this. We're going to turn the machine on and then pour in our mixture. We're going to let that run for about 15 minutes, and then it's going to be time to put in our sprinkles and chopped up gingerbread pieces. Right, you can see that it's been going for about 15 minutes or so. We're going to go ahead and put in, and I cut up 3 of those cookies, and I'm going to see how it does mixing in. I think this is going to be the right amount. And I decided to change my sprinkles. I'm just going to do these regular holiday sprinkles. Okay, we'll only need to go for about another 2 minutes or so to get that all mixed in there. So you're going to see it's still going to be a bit soft. I'll be putting it in my container here. And then we'll be throwing this in the freezer. I'm going to let this freeze overnight. And then we'll be able to see how this is tomorrow. So here we are at final plating, and it is tomorrow, which is now today. And you can see I've got the ice cream scooped up there. I decided to put one of those little gingerbread men in there with it just to make it a little bit cute. I want to explain what happened with yesterday. I was trying to get this up for yesterday and would have been able to, except that I tried to go too fast when I cooled. I cooled the liquid in the dish, and when I put it in the fridge, I didn't leave it in the fridge long enough. So when I went to freeze it, it did not get set up like it should have. You only run those Cuisinart freezer things for a maximum of 20 minutes, and I could already tell at 10 minutes it wasn't going to set. So I took it. This is a great learning lesson, though, that I learned if my liquid wasn't cool enough, that I could take it and put it back in the fridge. I took it out of the freezer component. I had to clean the freezer component and let it refreeze, and that takes quite a bit of time, and that's why this ended up being today. So we are on our number 18 for today. It's time to have a taste test of this long-awaited confection. Very gingerbread. So if you love gingerbread, you're going to love this ice cream. It's basically like having gingerbread in an ice cream form. Super tasty. Highly recommend you try this. And if you don't have one of those Cuisinart ice cream machines, get one. You'll absolutely love it. They're not super expensive. Totally worth it. All right. Thank you once again for joining us for another episode of Cuisine Michelle. Please be sure to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and most of all, subscribe. Again, thank you to all our recent subscribers. Please keep them coming, and we'll see you next time. Au revoir.